Hello friends, I am Dr. Amol Pathak, and in our today's video we are going to discuss about the examination of superficial reflexes. But before we start discussing the examination of superficial reflexes, let us first revise what we have already learned in the previous videos. In the previous video on examination of reflexes, we have discussed about the definition of reflex, we have discussed about the reflex arc, the classification of reflexes and the significance of reflex. So before we start with the examination of reflexes, there is just one information that those who have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to my channel, and then you can go to the playlist of my channel, and in that playlist you will see all those videos in a sequential manner. You can be able to see the video sequentially. I am creating the small videos of 10 minutes, 12 minutes in different parts, part 1, part 2, etc. So after going into the playlist, you will be able to see the videos sequentially, part 1, part 2, etc. So it will be helpful for you. Especially some of my students are having their exams in coming future, so it will be better for them. I have received multiple what we can say is requests that please prepare the video on this and that, but keeping in mind the upcoming examinations and the syllabus for it, I am preparing the videos of central nervous system, and then I will be discussing those. I will be taking into consideration those requests also, so don't worry about it. सारे videos बन जाएंगे in time. Okay, so let us start with examination of superficial reflexes. Superficial reflexes can be broadly classified into three types. The first type will be superficial skin reflex, the second is superficial mucosal reflex, and the third one is corneal and conjunctival reflex. So let us first begin with examination of superficial skin reflexes. As far as superficial skin reflexes are concerned, and as far as your examinations are concerned, the four superficial skin reflexes are most important. I am going to tell their names now. The first one is abdominal reflex. The second one is the cremasteric reflex. The third one is plantar reflex. The fourth one is anal reflex. Apart from this, you can also examine pectoral reflex and scapular reflex. So let us first discuss with the examination of abdominal reflex. So how to take or how to see for the abdominal reflex. So what you have to do while testing the abdominal reflex is you need to ask the patient to lie down supine on a bed or on a couch, then uncover his abdomen so that all the 9 quadrants of the abdomen becomes visible. Now, for conduction of this abdominal reflex, you will require a hammer which is having a pointed end. So now the patient is lying down on the couch with his abdomen uncovered and all the 9 quadrants are clearly seen. So what you have to do is, by the pointed end of the clinical hammer, gently stroke or gently make a scratch on the abdominal wall from laterally to medially, just below the costal margin and in the iliac fossa. So you have to scratch along the costal margin and in the iliac fossa from laterally to medially. And what you will observe on scratching the abdominal wall, there will be contraction of the muscles of same side of abdomen. So ipsilateral contraction of abdominal muscles will be noticed on the stimulation of abdominal skin. So this will suggest that the abdominal reflex is normal. What precaution you have to take before examining the abdominal reflex? You have to make sure the patient that, or you have to tell the patient regarding the procedure, what you are supposed to do, so that the patient will not get conscious about the reaction. Now, which nerves supplies this skin over the abdominal muscles. So the spinal segment from T7 to T12, T7 to T12 will be innervating the abdominal skin. So the sensations are carried by T7 to T12 spinal nerves. If the examiner asks in more detail, T7, T8 and T9 segments are responsible for the conduction of impulses from epigastrium, T9, T10, T11 for right hypochondrium, left hypochondrium, right lumbar, umbilicus and left lumbar region. T10, T11, T12 for right iliac fossa, hypogastrium and left iliac fossa. So what are the difficulties in the conduction of abdominal reflex, or what are the clinical conditions in which the abdominal reflex will be diminished or will be exaggerated? Abdominal reflex is usually exaggerated in a patient who is anxious, and the abdominal reflex is usually diminished in a patient who has had any prior abdominal surgery, the patient who had a past history of herpes zoster, and the patient who is having periodontitis. Now let us discuss. So in these clinical conditions, you may notice superficial scheme of reflex and cremasteric reflex. For checking the cremasteric reflex, again you have to ask the patient to lie down in a supine position. Then with the help of pointed end of the clinical hammer, you have to stroke the skin at upper and inner part of thigh. At the upper and inner part of thigh. So when the skin is getting stimulated, the response will be, or the reflex will be, there will be upward movement of the testis. So the upward movement of testis will indicate that the cremasteric reflex is normal. Now which spinal segment is responsible for bringing about this cremasteric reflex? The spinal segment is L1 and L2. So L1, L2 segment will be responsible for cremasteric reflex. Now this cremasteric reflex will be absent or will be diminished in a patient who is suffering from hydrocele and in a patient who is having herniation. Now we will discuss the third important superficial skin reflex, and that is anal reflex. So to test the anal reflex, what you have to do is you have to scratch the skin around anus, or you have to scratch the perianal skin. What will be the response for this stimulus? The response will be contraction of anal sphincter. External anal sphincter will get contracted. So contraction will suggest that the anal reflex is normal. Now which spinal segment is responsible for this reflex? The spinal segment is S3, S4. That is this sacral segment 3 and 4 will be responsible for anal reflex. Now let us discuss the most important superficial skin reflex, that is the plantar reflex. Now in plantar reflex, what you have to do is you have to ask the patient to lie down in a supine position with the foot or the sole in a relaxed state. So to check this plantar reflex, you will require the clinical hammer, and with the help of pointed end of the clinical hammer, you have to start stroking the sole in the outer aspect, moving upwards towards the little toe, then moving medially towards the great toe. So you will notice that when the examiner, or when you are examining the sole of the patient, there will be plantar flexion of the toes. That means there will be flexion of the toes towards the sole. Sometimes there will be plantar flexion of entire foot will be noticed. So this plantar flexion is a normal plantar reflex. Now which spinal segment is responsible for this plantar reflex? The spinal segment is L5, S1. Now in some cases you may notice abnormal plantar reflex, which is also called as Babinski's sign. So what happens in this Babinski's sign is, when the examiner starts stroking the sole, instead of plantar flexion, there is dorsiflexion of the toes with fanning out of rest of the toes. Dorsiflexion of great toe with fanning out of rest of the toes. So if you notice this type of response, then it will be termed as Babinski's sign is positive. Now this Babinski's sign indicates pyramidal tract diseases. Then it indicates that the patient is comatose. Babinski's sign, this dorsiflexion of the foot, is seen in infants and the patient who is deep sleep, who is in a deep sleep. Now we are going to discuss scapular reflex. So for assessing the scapular reflex, what you have to do is ask the patient to sit straight with his back uncovered, and with the pointed end of the hammer you have to stroke gently, or you have to scratch gently in between the scapula. So what will you notice? There will be contraction of scapular muscles, that means supraspinatus and infraspinatus. So these muscles will undergo contraction. So if these muscles are undergoing contraction, it means scapular reflex is normal. Which spinal segment is responsible for this? C5 and T1. That means cervical 5 and thoracic first spinal segment is responsible for scapular reflex. Now we will discuss one more superficial skin reflex called as bulbocavernous reflex or bulbocavernosus reflex. So what you have to do in this reflex is, on pinching of the glans penis, there will be contraction of bulbocavernosus muscles. So contractions in the bulbocavernosus muscles indicates that the bulbocavernosus reflex is normal. Which spinal segment is responsible for this? It is S3 and S4. Now we will discuss the last superficial skin reflex, that is pectoral reflex. As the name itself suggests, it will be useful for testing the pectoral muscles. So what you have to do is ask the patient to lie down in a supine position, and you have to gently stroke the anterior margin of the axilla. So when the examiner strokes the anterior margin of the axilla, there will be adduction of the arm with contractions on the pectoral muscle. So contractions of the pectoral muscle will indicate that the pectoral reflex is normal. And which spinal segment is responsible for it? It is C5 and T1, that means cervical 5 and thoracic first. Now here we finish superficial skin reflexes. In our next video, we will discuss about examination of superficial mucosal reflexes, corneal and conjunctival reflexes, and then we will discuss about examination of deep reflexes. Thank you.